Greetings everyone, welcome aboard. My name is Joseph James, schooloftrade.com, sidewaysmarkets.com. Here's your live stream recap, Monday morning, February 14th, 2011. We had a wonderful day in the room today, guys. It was challenging, but we really used this challenging environment to learn a whole lot about our trading methods, trade management, double confirmation, reading volume and reading speed. And of course, we also learned about how important it is sometimes to sit on those hands, right, and wait for the next best price action to come. All right, guys, so Monday morning. Now, what happened today? Hope you guys had a good weekend. I tried to rest my voice a little bit. As you can hear, I'm still suffering from that cold a little bit from last week. This sinus thing really blew right through my hometown, that's for sure. Hope you guys are feeling well on your end of the microphone here. But as you can see, as you can hear, I'm almost out of the woods here, battling that cold I had last week. But here we are Monday morning. We're rested and relaxed, ready to go. Monday morning, no news, right? That was the big story this morning. There was no news this morning. Now, whenever we have a Monday without any news, we can kind of assume that people will be hitting that snooze button a little bit longer, right? Getting out of bed in the morning. The same reason why you and I want to postpone the week, right, is the same reason why Monday mornings without any news are a little bit slower. Now, look at the rest of the week, though. This is the third full week of February, so we're looking at a long, right? We got a long weekend ahead of us. We've got OPEX on Friday, and we got Bernanke on Thursday and Friday speaking. So look at this week here, right? Step back for a second now. We have Monday morning, no news. Now, that isn't so bad. But then when we start realizing what's the rest of this week looking like, we can now understand what to expect the rest of the week. So Monday morning, no news. We know we got to be careful today for that. But remember, we have OPEX week this week, which means OPEX Friday, Wacky Wednesday, right? Wednesday will probably be the last day of good volume this week because then you've got a long weekend ahead of us, right? I'll be out of town Thursday and Friday this week, right, guys? Most of the traders, I would assume, will be taking advantage of OPEX on Friday, long weekend on next Monday, right? Long weekend coming up. I would expect to see people, right, hitting the exits at the end of the day on Wednesday. All right, so we looked at the week ahead of us and we knew we may have a short week. But most importantly, though, OPEX on Friday. Bernanke has some important speeches on Thursday and Friday, guys. But again, we're expecting to see, because of that long weekend this weekend, we're expecting this week to be a little bit iffy, right? A little bit iffy with volume. Now, whenever we know to be concerned about volume, what do we always do? We try to get a handle on the market personality. Is it moving, right? Moving fast, moving slow? Are we seeing wide ranges? Are we seeing narrow ranges? Guys, every morning, no matter what the speed is, try to get an idea of that morning, right? The morning prep of the market personality, right? We're trying to get an idea of the personnel of the market. And what did we see this morning? We saw lack of speed and lack of follow through. Now I'm going to show you guys what that looks like here in a moment. But basically this morning, we open up our charts. We go through our morning routine. Our morning routine, right, brings out all these news events, right? OPEX, holiday weekend, Bernanke on Thursday, Friday, no news this morning. We go through all the morning routine. Then we begin looking at the market personality. The market personality is going nowhere. Now at first, we usually think to ourselves, well, this can change quickly. We might be slow right now, but let's see where we are half an hour from now. So we waited. 8 o'clock, then 8:30. Then 9 o'clock, still very slow. And if you look at our notes, guys, the notes are posted right below this video. If you look at our notes that we took during the trade room this morning, we made note of just how slow it really was. But most importantly, though, we noted we had lack of speed, which means we didn't have enough speed in the market. And then we had lack of follow-through. Follow-through means when we get into a trade, does the trade keep going, right? Missing speed and lacking follow-through. These two things were a very big concern. Now, we'll show you guys what we did about that, but first, we had a couple really great opportunities to trade today. We had to wait for them, right? Today was all about sitting back and waiting for the speed to pick up, right? You saw red pace of tape, very slow speed all morning. There were a couple glimmers of hope, though, a couple glimmers out there. We saw some increasing speed. We had the perfect pattern on our hands, and guys, that was the big key today. The key was, can we wait for that speed to pick up? Then at the same time, looking for a nice high percentage pattern. We read the tape, we read the volume to get into that trade. Now, once we got into the trade, we didn't get much out of the trades this morning. That's a whole other story, though. We'll take a look at that here a little bit later on this morning. But we did have some pretty good chances to buy and sell here. Now, first of all, we saw crude going sideways here, very sideways this morning. And we tested the highs once, sold the highs, broke new highs, tested again, right? And then the third time we broke new highs, we ended up buying the pullback. So we sold the highs on crude twice. Then the third time it pushed new highs, again, this is where, again, momentum will confirm perfectly. Speed is moving. You'll know it when you see it. We're waiting for a chance to buy the pullback. We did it on crude as well. So 3 trades, 3 winners. We had all winners today, only 1 scratch trade today. I'm sorry, 2 scratches today, right? But on crude, though, we did a good job at selling the highs. Now, the gold was a sloppy market from the get-go. We saw wave patterns on gold, but very, very slow and sluggish. If you guys recall, we were up at the highs on gold, pulled back off those highs. I bought a pullback once, did it again, and then we tried to sell those highs, coming right back down. It was a very sloppy day on gold today. And again, the key today was we know the market personality was screaming at us, be careful, right? The market personality was saying, be careful out there. So what did I want to do? I want to focus on the times of the day when we see the best speed and the perfect pattern, and that's when I'm taking my trades today. Now, if we would have saw a lot of speed this morning, if the personality would have been different, we would have traded today completely differently. But the personality tells us, look for twice as much to get in and look for half as much to get out. That means to get me into a trade, I'm going to really want to make sure my rules line up. But then because we hadn't seen that follow through, right? Because we didn't have that consistency and that follow through in the speed, which meant that once we got into a trade, it was very difficult to hold that trade because the speed dropped. We'd see sellers come in, we were long, and it was very difficult to hold on to that trade. So it took us twice as much to get in and then only half as much to bounce us out. One of those days where take a picture, right? Learn from this environment this morning, guys, because today's environment on the gold and crude was something we see every once in a while. It's not going to be every day, but next time you see the personality look like this, guys, you'll know what? Double confirmation and take that money and run. Wait for price to speed up. Wait for that perfect pattern. This is the day when you've really got to make sure you've got that perfect trading scenario. All right, guys, how about you today? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 total trades. Now, on a day like today, 9 trades, I'll take that. 9 trades, 191 ticks. That's 1,900 USD. Right? Very different than last Friday. We only took 4 trades on Friday. Today, here we are, 9 trades on a very slow day. You'll notice we didn't get a lot out of that third and final target, but when we did, we really had some big winning trades. Look at this, 10.16, 10.38, 11.15, right? Look at those big winners there, 34 ticks, 39 ticks, 32 ticks. So you can see the times that we did get moves, they were nice big winners for us. But the tough part was sitting on those hands, right? Not getting too emotional, right? Not letting those emotions trade it, do the trading for you, because we saw lots of patterns. And again, it would have been real easy for us just to jump in blind, right? Blindfolding these patterns. But again, everything began this morning with the morning prep. The morning prep told us we're going to have to be a little bit more careful today. That's exactly what we did. We looked for double confirmation, and then once we got into a trade, we were quick to take that profit before we lost all the profit because the market was whipping around a lot today. So 191 ticks, 9 trades. Guys, we're having a fantastic month of February right now. As you can see, we did 12,000 the first week, 8,000 the second week, here in the third week. And again, we got OPEX on Friday, Wacky Wednesday on the Wednesday. And of course, that brings our monthly total here now to 22,000. So we've done 22,000 in a short month of February. We had a very short month of January. We did 31,000 in January, 20,000 in a short month of December. We'll keep you guys posted the rest of the month of February. Now, this is always a challenging time of the year. The first quarter, right? The first quarter, always a really challenging time of year. Now, why would it be so challenging?